care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on!
Oh, man. Revenge never tasted so damn good. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. If you're just getting off work, getting ready for work, getting ready for the week that was, welcome in. This is the Pregame Show. I'm your host, Joe Spadoni. 49ers, 42. Philadelphia Eagles, 19. As San Francisco now claims the best team in the NFL. They just took out the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly with authority. They punched them in the mouth. They were Clubber Lang yesterday to the Philadelphia's Rocky Balboa. That was an ass kicking. And I want to hear from all the 49er fans that loved every single second from it today. 888-957-9570. Something tells me I'm not going to get the troll Eagle callers today. You think they're doing all right? Oh. Yeah, you hate to see it. If we're doing Star Wars references, I'll have that job a laugh. The Eagles yesterday were Boba Fett, and the Niners, they were Luke Skywalker. Hell, it could have been Han Solo accidentally like shoving him in there at that point. Maybe that was Dom, what was my guy, D'Alessandro? We'll get into that. There was fights. There was trash talking. There was taunting. There was tush pushing. There was everything in this game. But ultimately, the only things that matters are wins and losses. It didn't matter how it happened, but a blowout? That makes it a lot better if you're a fan. You're going to be able to enjoy this one for weeks to come. Now, it's not, the final goal. It's one of many. You want to win a Super Bowl. But in order to do that, you would like to get home field advantage. And in order to do that, you have to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who again, yes, still are 10-2, still are in control of their own destiny when it comes to that one seed. But it got a lot harder for them, and they got a date with their division rivals next Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys. 49ers, they'll head back home to take on a Seahawks team that is reeling. They're desperate. I'm not saying that's going to be an easy game either, but what a weight lifted off of fans' shoulders with Brock Purdy at quarterback playing the entire game. We finally got to see these two teams, and I know it's different. I'm not going to compare last year to this year because it is different. Teams are different, players, all that sort of stuff. It is different. But if you're a 49er fan waking up this morning, it's got to feel damn good knowing you have what it takes to not only beat this team come January, but you can dominate them. They were firing on all cylinders. And it's not like, the Eagles didn't have their chances. They did. Early on in that game, had those been touchdowns instead of field goals, it might have been different. But you know what? Give the 49ers credit. Give that secondary a hell of a lot of credit. That's what I'm doing this morning. That secondary, Mooney Ward, Brown, all those guys. Lenore, who laid the wood, oh my God, on DeAndre Swift late in that game. Oh my God. Just absolutely physical from start to finish. Fred Warner Jr. covering Jalen Hurts. But Jalen, the offensive line, I think for the most part, handled their business. Shout out Javon Kinlaw with the easiest sack of his life when Jalen tripped over and fell on himself. Which, hey, they'll take it. But Jalen was just out there sitting and sitting and sitting. And he couldn't find anyone. And it's not like they have slouches on offense. This guy, A.J. Brown, pretty freaking good. And he overall had a pretty good game yesterday. 8 receptions, 114. But the most important thing, 0 touchdowns if you're the 49ers. Hey, you can have all the yards you want. If you're not scoring, I don't really give a damn. Devontae Smith, 8 receptions, 96 yards. A lot of that was in garbage time too. So the secondary, may get my game ball. And who gets your game ball? Who's your MVP on MVP Monday of that game yesterday? 888-957-9570. Is it Deebo Samuel? I mean, he's going to be the talk of the week. And he should. You know why? Because he talked the talk and he walked the walk. He talked trash to Bradbury. He talked trash to Philly fans. He talked trash to everyone. And when it was time to suit up, he balled out. He was in his zone all week. Just ask him.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. I was in that zone like all week long. For us, they beat us in the NFC Championship, and at the end of the day, like talking trash. I mean, this is part of the game. Hopefully, nobody took it to heart because it's just all fun and games at the end of the day.
That needs to be a drop. This first little.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. I was in that zone like all week long. For us,
I was in that zone all week long. But he was. Credit to him, and credit to the 49ers. For not backing down early, because it felt like early on in that first quarter, and it was just absolutely dominated by the Eagles. The D-line was getting after Purdy. Reddick was all up in his grill. They couldn't run the ball. They didn't even try to run the ball. It was just like, what the hell is going on here? And I would say they got punched in the mouth, but they didn't. Dre Greenlaw tried to punch someone in the mouth on the Eagles sideline, a chief security officer for the team. My guy, Dom, let me get this, D'Alessandro, I believe. Dom D'Alessandro, who looks, DeSandro, excuse me, Dom DeSandro, not D'Alessandro. All due respect, Dom. The amount of Tom Toretto memes I saw, though, in regards to this guy, shout out Fast and the Furious, was insane. I just have a picture of this guy up right now. Senior advisor to the general manager / chief security officer. All right. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, if you were under a rock or didn't watch the whole game or you listened to it, whatever, there was a moment in the game where Dre Greenlaw body slams a la Rolando McClain or a la Kurt Angle. Shout out integrity, intelligence, and intensity, the 3 I's, as you all know. But Dre Greenlaw body slams. Who was my guy that he bodied? Was it Devontae Smith on the sideline? It was the Eagles sideline. That was, a late flag. It was excessive. And that's what you expect from Dre Greenlaw, who's now getting comps to Draymond Green. He didn't go quite rear naked chokehold, but I appreciated the suplex special. Hey, now that I'm thinking about it, whenever the WWE comes back, and if it goes to Chase Center, Levi's, whatever, hey, Draymond and Dre, the Dre team, Dragonomics, that's a hell of a tag team special right there. Move over, Edge and Christian, Undertaker and Kane, the Rock and Sock combination, Mankind and The Rock. No, I'm going to have to go Draymond and Dre Greenlaw. But let's let Kevin Burkhardt take over here, who had the game for Fox Sports, kind of break all of this down as mayhem started to happen in the third quarter. And here's what happened.
Second down, quick throw near side. Smith again has another first down inside the 25. And Greenlaw slams him down. That's going to be 15 more. And now tempers flare.
We're going to have to sort all this out. I mean, Dom put his hand in Dre Greenlaw's chest to kind of keep him away. And then Greenlaw, he didn't like it.
It's when Greenlaw reached out toward Dom, who provides security and so much else, as return to the Eagles.
Personal foul, number 57 of San Francisco, who has also been disqualified.
I wonder if they're telling Dom, the head of security here, talking to the officials, Are they telling him now he might have to leave the sidelines? I wonder if they're going to make him and Drake Greenlaw both leave the sideline.
Which is kind of wild because he's the head of security.
Yeah, they're making him leave. He's walking away.
His responsibility is there.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So, after all that, Dre Greenlaw, gone. Dom DeSandro, gone. It's not 1-for-1 because one of these guys actually has an impact on the game. Shout out Dom for trying to keep his sideline, trying to have his guys back. But you can't touch players. You just can't do that on the sideline. That's a disqualification. And Greenlaw, you can't try to punch someone on the sideline either. I know it's free Dre, all that. Doesn't matter because they ended up winning the game. But that is an instant disqualification if you try to punch someone. And it was weak. He grazed him, but he did the act, and that just can't happen. And it is what it is. But not having offsetting penalties is tough there because I can see why Niners fans are big mad. Hey, this guy pushed our guy first. Our guy retaliated, but you know what? That should be offsetting penalties. However, and this was from, I believe, the VP of officiating was asked this question. There cannot be a penalty on a non-player after review. You can review personal foul calls and go in there and see if someone needs to get disqualified. They can do that, but they cannot then issue a personal foul on a non-player. That is not within the rule book. So that is why there was not offsetting penalties there. Anyways, Eagles go down. They score a touchdown. Tush push from the 2, gets them a yard closer. They do it again, and they get it done. Now it's, oh no, as all the momentum swung back to the Eagles' way. Well, not so fast, because what do the 49ers do? They go right back down, score a touchdown, and then it was pretty much night-night. See you later. Have a nice day. Again, shout out Mankind. Good morning to all of you just getting off work, getting ready for school, joining the pregame show with Joe Spadoni right here. The number to get involved is 888-957-9570. That's to call or text the Comcast Business text line. You can also hit us up on Twitch and YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game, like and subscribe there. And also download that Odyssey app. Take us wherever you need to go. All week long, we'll be trashing the Eagles because you know what? In honor of Deebo, they were trash yesterday. The 49ers were the treasure. The Eagles were the trash. It's as simple as that. 888-957-9570. Also, it is a Monster Monday brought to you by First 5 California. Visit first5california.com to learn 4 things that you could do to overcome toxic stress. And I think Niners fans got over a lot of toxic stress yesterday. Must have been cathartic, if you will, watching that beatdown happen. Now, nothing's going to, take away the pain of losing the NFC Championship game and losing Brock Purdy in that game, but it felt pretty good. Enjoy this one. Enjoy the week. Victory Monday. Wear the hat, wear the jersey, wear whatever. Because it feels pretty damn good when it happens. It doesn't always happen like that. The stars don't always align, but all the trash talking, everything happening all week leading up to the game, all off season, you had to hear about it. I'm sure there will be a lot of cry Eagles cry today amongst many households, radio shows. Maybe one coming up here in about 46 minutes. We'll be playing it a bunch. Vontae and Joe Shasky, oh yeah, they're fired up. And what shouldn't they be? It's the biggest win of the year. It was a statement win. And I know I kind of joked this past Monday with Bonte, this being a legacy game for Brock Purdy. It's a pretty damn good legacy game. Oh, and by the way, you guys know who's the leader in the clubhouse for the MVP now, right? Oh.
Brock Purdy!
Yeah, that guy. By the way, that was from Philadelphia, that WWE show. Paul Heyman trolling the Eagles fans prior to the NFC Championship game. I want to play it again because now, you know what? It kind of works.
And we're going to feel like the fans of the Philadelphia Eagles after they get conquered by Brock Purdy of the 49ers.
Oh, no.
Brock Purdy!
Yeah, that guy, Mr. Irrelevant. Currently relevant in the MVP standings, tied with Dak Prescott. This according to DraftKings at plus 300. Huh. Weird. Wonder who said he should have been the leader in the clubhouse all along. Huh. Might have been this host right here. I don't know. Yeah, I'm talking my talk. I got Brock's back. All right? I have all season long. I even said, you know what? If the situation arose where they needed to throw downfield to get back into the game, what did I say? Brock could do it. And you know what? He did early on in that game. Big completions to Ayuk. And that's the safety net for Brock Purdy without any shadow of a doubt. It's not Kittle, it's not Deebo, it's Brandon Ayuk. When things get tough, look to Brandon Ayuk. Now, he has said in the past that he feels a lot more comfortable with Deebo Samuel back there. And why wouldn't you? The guy's a beast. I don't think anyone could tackle him one-on-one in open space. Good luck if he has 3 or 4 yards in a cloud of dust, if you will. But Brandon Ayuk is that safety net for Brock Purdy. And Ayuk having to save Brock Purdy's skin with that touchdown when he was rolling to his left. It's like, oh, Brock, he probably could have thrown that one more into his chest. Not if your boy died for it, but Ayuk hangs on. The ball can move. You can still have possession if the ball's moving. The hands were under it. So no harm, no foul there. Speaking of the quarterback, here's Brock Purdy talking about not freaking out after the first 2 drives.
No one was freaking out or anything. It was more like, man, we just got to get the ball rolling. We need a positive play. We need to envision and see a positive play and have some momentum be, created off that. So, and especially for myself as a quarterback, I just needed to see myself completing a ball, get a completion, get things rolling, and we did that. And so Kyle called some plays to allow us to get the ball out of my hands pretty quick, just to get into a rhythm. And once we did that, we rolled from there and we didn't look back.
It's true. They did roll. 888-957-9570, like a King's Hawaiian. They rolled yesterday to a 42-19 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. I want to hear from all the pre-gamers, all the roasters, all the Steiny and Gurus, Willard and Dibbers, everyone today. 888-957-9570. All day long, we'll be breaking down this dominant victory. What does it mean for standings? What does it mean for this team's Super Bowl hopes? Are they the best team in football without a shadow of a doubt now? 888-957-9570. Good morning to all of you on the YouTube and Twitch chats. Vic, Ernie, Jason, Golden State Lakota, Bebop Jones. Oh, Juwan Jennings with the mean stiff arm. That from Bebop. Whew. That was filthy. That was just a get off me. Night, see you later. Everything was going right for the Niners after that first quarter. Everything. That's why it was so important not to be down 14-0 for the psyche. You just heard from Brock there. No one was freaking out because they held them to 6 points. 6 points is nothing. And they proved that. I mean, it was 21-6 without even blinking. And then it was at that point, after they scored to open up the second half, I was like, all right, this game might be over. Then the whole Dom v. Greenlaw thing happened. The fact that we know this guy's name all the time now, it's just hilarious, by the way. Just some regular security officer guy for a team, and now this whole thing was just crazy yesterday. And then there was fights in the Panthers and Bucks game. There's fights happening everywhere yesterday. It was, you know what? A little WWE-esque, but I like that. I want some nastiness. Wasn't yesterday fun? Because both teams hated each other. There's an extra layer of that. I don't feel that hate as much in the Seahawks games and the Rams games. And maybe because the opposing fan bases just aren't as loud and boisterous, all that sort of stuff, right? But the Philly fans, you heard it all week if you're listening. They were calling in, trying to troll every single show. And by the way, the experienced screen callers that I am, that Sam Lubman is, like we know they're calling to troll anyways. And it's just like, buddy, you can just come on and just say you're from Philly. We'll let you on. You don't have to have this whole I'm Bob from San Rafael. I'm a big Niner. I was like, dude, I know your area code. No, Bob in San Rafael doesn't have a Philly accent. Maybe that was a bad Philly accent. I don't know. It was New Jersey, New York. They all freaking blend in together. Who cares? But after hearing that all week, you know, there was a part of me too. I don't have a skin in this game. I'm unbiased. I was glad all those troll Eagle callers got a taste of that beat down yesterday. It made me a little bit happy. It did. Head coach Kyle Shanahan, how important was it to hold them to field goals to start the game?
That was huge. I mean, just for us to not really feel like we were getting going with some of the mistakes that we made and to watch them get going with some of the explosives they made and just moving the ball pretty well. But it was huge to hold up to 2 field goals. And despite all that, the third possession we got the ball. They scored twice, but we were only down 6. And we just got one drive together and got the lead back. So it was a huge deal and a very good feeling.
A lot of hate coming on the Comcast business text line for our guy Dom. Again, Dom DeSandro via Dre Greenlaw. Dom DeSandro, senior advisor to the general manager / chief security officer. I did like the shades, though. The glasses, the specs, if you will, with Dom. Pretty fresh. Hey, he's a Paisan, all right? I got a little soft spot for this guy, for Sirianni, all those guys. All right, don't get mad at me, Niner fans. You won the game anyways. Doesn't even matter. And apparently, according to reports, I guess John Lynch, Dom, and Deebo were all hanging out. And I guess, like, Dom was... So, like, that's... Hey. Not Deebo. Dre. They were all hanging out. So it's all... No harm, no foul. I think they're all friends. It's all good. Heat of the moment. And give me a guy like Dre Greenlaw any single day of the week. I understand that could have swung the game momentum-wise, but you know what? The Niners had their guy back yesterday. They had Greenlaw's back. And they responded after the Eagles got that tush-push touchdown, and yes, no one can stop that. And by the way, according to Diana Rossini of The Athletic, Roger Goodell looking to ban the tush-push, which means it'll probably get banned. This is probably the last year we'll see of it, which, whatever. Only one team's doing it. So if you're a Philly fan, you're going to be pissed off. I get it. You're so damn good at it. But, hey, Goodell doesn't like it because you're too good at it. It is what it is. No fun league again. 510 on the Comcast Business Text line. I haven't felt this good since Dubs versus Celtics Game 4 in the Garden. That was great. Thank you, 510. It was a huge win. It really was. For it being a regular season one, it's not a playoff win, but it's one of the most satisfying wins in the last, I don't know, 5 years for the 49ers outside of the NFC Championship win. Because there were some playoff wins here and there, but to beat this team and to dominate them in this fashion, I get it, it's a regular season game, but all the chatter, all the what ifs, you know, ifs and buts, candies and nuts, Merry Christmas, all that, with Brock Purdy leaving that game so early last year with the torn ligament in his elbow. For them to come out and the Eagles, you know, get the first lick in, if you will, and dominate that first quarter, but only have a 6-0 lead, to come back and just dominate them after that. It was, what more could you have wanted in that game? It had the drama. It had, you know, momentum swings. It had Purdy v. Hurts, Warner, Fletcher Cox, all these guys, A.J. Brown. Again, I cannot sing enough praises for the 49ers secondary today. They did a hell of a job just making Jalen Hurts sit in that pocket. He sat, and they sat, and they sat, and eventually that offense got tired. That offensive line got tired. And for the most part, I thought that offensive line of the Eagles actually did a pretty damn good job, all things considered. Lane Johnson, as Joe Shasky of the Morning Roast walks in here, he's pumped up. Don't worry, I always have the mic on just in case, Sam. He's good. Mic number 3.
I'm sorry to do this to you. It's one of the greatest regular season wins I can remember.
In a long time, right?
I'm not even going to rank them today because I'm too close to the emotion of it. If you're not ready to do 25 straight hours of unbelievable screw you Philly content, why are we here? Why are we here?
We're having, by the way, WWE rejoins only today for the Suplex City. That was Dre Greenlaw. That was Kurt Angle-esque Joe Shasky.
I love Dre Greenlaw.
Oh.
And the Draymond Greenlaw memes are the greatest memes I've ever seen.
Has anyone already turned them into the tag team champions of the WWE? Someone needs to do that.
Oh my God, what is this?
Oh, what is it?
Cry, Eagles, cry.
Oh, no.
A Cry, Eagles, cry shirt.
You're going to be rocking that.
Look, I'm going to say this right now. So many buffoons from back east united to try to come at your boy online. All you Twitter fingers. Some dude, Spike Eskin, whose dad got him the job. He
Shout out
looks
Howard.
like hipster nepotism midlife depression. Just think about it. Tight little t-shirt, tattooed sleeves. What a nerd this guy is. Coming at me online. Oh, look at this guy wearing the entire fan shop outfit. Dog, that's how I dress every day.
It's true.
Spadoni, do I wear that every day?
You do.
That's who I am. You
Not
know
only
why?
does he wear it, he actually gets us stuff from the team stores. Shout out the Raiders jacket got me last year.
I went to Raider Image in Vegas. And I was going to get you something.
How was Allegiant? No, but I appreciate you thinking of me. How was Allegiant?
It was freaking incredible.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
That was
a great game, by the way. You went to Washington, Oregon, Pac-12 champ. That was an awesome game.
And then I saw, how you doing, Roxy Bernstein and Jay Will. I went to Gonzaga, USC.
Fight on.
I saw Collier, number one overall pick. I'm just around 888-957-9570. I want the bat signal out for everyone. I'm not joking. It's one of the most satisfying beatdowns in the regular season I can remember ever. I don't mean to hijack your show.
No, you're good.
I am so ready to do, I'm not joking, 48 straight hours on that game. Deebo Samuel wrote the biggest check of all time and cashed it on the face of every Philly fan. You dropped 40 plus.
It's a 40 burger.
I'm telling you right now, Philly's soul was broken. Why is Jalen in that game?
Oh, they're losing next week, by the way. Lock it in. They're losing to the Dallas Cowboys. I think 1,000% they're losing in Dallas.
Bunty's going to kill me. I got to get off the air. Yeah. I love you, bro. I'm sorry. I'm so fired up.
Dude, he went to Vegas this week. He was doing his baseball tournament. Joe Shiaski's fired up. Why shouldn't you be? 42-19, San Francisco 49ers over the Philadelphia Eagles. We want to hear from you. 888-957-9570 is the number. 49er fans, where are you at on a Victory Monday here on 95.7 The Game?
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to American.
Cameras. I swear. On Twitch and YouTube. I hit the unlock, I hit the lock one, and it still follows me. I don't get it. Skynet. I don't know. But it's the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. 49ers, 42. Philadelphia Eagles, 19. They couldn't even get 20 points. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Psh, get out of here. You don't stand a chance against this guy.
Purdy!
No. Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. And that 49ers secondary. I cannot sing their praises enough. What they were able to do to handle those guys that I just mentioned, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, all those guys. It's incredible. Now, it's not won in December, the Super Bowl, and no one's saying that they've accomplished anything. But you should feel good about where you are, 49ers fans, on December 4th, 2023, the year of our Lord. You should feel pretty freaking good about your chances this year, if, indeed, you go back to Philadelphia. Because the Eagles, they can win next week. I wouldn't bet on it. But if they win next week, then they do have the inside track to get that one seed. Now, crazy things could always happen. You know, the Jets beat the Eagles earlier this year. No one expected that. Niners lost to the P.J. Walker-led Cleveland Browns. Things happen. By the way, Joe Flacco turning back the clock yesterday. He looked good for a little bit until, well, turned back into a pumpkin. It's all right, Joe. These things happen. 888-957-9570 is the number. Heard from Shanahan, heard from Purdy, heard from Deebo. What about the leader of that defense, though? Fred Warner. Talking about how proud he is of his guys.
I mean, I think the thing I'm most proud of is the resilience throughout the game. Like we talked about just a second ago, it wasn't pretty in the beginning, you know, and we talked about trying to win a grimy game. And I know the score is what it is, but on defense, we didn't take the ball away all game, you know, and then at the beginning of the game it was what it was. And then we lost Dre, midway through the game. So it was some things in there where we had to make sure we rebounded and we got back to work. And I mean, I can't speak enough about how great of a overall team that we have. I mean, it's the best offense, most explosive offense I've been a part of. I know if we take care of business on defense and special teams are doing what they're supposed to do, then we're going to have a chance every game.
He was shadowing Jalen Hurts, not getting fooled by anything he did yesterday. Jalen Hurts, he just couldn't get anything going. He couldn't get into a rhythm. And again, credit to the linebackers, credit to the secondary, credit for that defensive line who lost containment a little bit early on. Furl, whatever you want to call him. Furl. I still, listen, he was drafted by the Raiders. I'm a Raider. I still don't know if it's Farrell or Furl. I think it's Furl, but, you know, who knows? Shout out, my name is Earl. Jason Lee, right? Fabian's in San Jose, 888-957-9570 if you would like to call into the show. Open lines starting at 5 a.m. here on 95.7 The Game, pregame show, Joe Spadoni. Fabian, what's going on, man?
John? What's up, man? How are you?
Good. How you feeling about your Niners, Fabian?
I'm feeling great. First and foremost, I listen to you every morning. I'm up early at 5 in the morning going to work. You're the best. You're one of the greatest. It only sucks you're a Raider fan. But, I mean,
I appreciate you, man.
You talk so good about the Niners. I think you should come to our side, man. I really do. You would be the best Niner fan. But with that being said, man, I am so happy going into work right now. I can't wait to talk shit up.
No, Fabian, it was going so well. Dump sandwich. There you go. You got it. You can double dump it if you want, Sam, if you feel better. He was so close, you guys. YouTube, you heard it. Uncut. He was doing so well. Fabian in San Jose. It's tough. You know what? He did say it was one of the greatest he's ever heard, though. I'll take that. I don't know if I'm one of the greatest of all time, but I'll take it. Thank you, Fabian in San Jose. It's much like the morning roast. I swear to God, last Friday, Sam, we had like 4 S-bombs and F-bombs. Like, what is going on?
Also, we had all those Philly callers calling in.
Yeah, it's just like, come on. It was personal.
Philly callers very quiet today.
Yeah, where are they at? Philly fans, 888-957-9570.
Drunken gutter.
It's 8:30 over there. Come on. It's perfect time. What's the morning show over there? Who's on? I don't even know who's in the morning over there.
I think it's DeCamera and John Ritchie.
There you go. DeScamera, am I right? Got him.
Shout out Bubble Baths.
There you go. I like John Ritchie, though. Again, former Raider, as you know. Former, like, politician. Didn't he, like, run for office or something? Like, mayor or something? Good morning. Everyone just getting off work, getting ready for work. We're talking Niners, talking Eagles. Niners 42, Eagles 19. Latest MVP odds. This via DraftKings in the NFL. You got my guy.
Purdy!
Plus 300. Tied with Dak, don't call him Whack Prescott. Who could bolster his MVP case if he beats the Eagles next week as well. That looks like it can go neck and neck. Jalen Hurts, right behind them, at plus 350. He was the favorite heading into yesterday, but big L, he'll get dropped. Then you got Tua, Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, who took an L yesterday in Lambeau Field. Jordan Love. Okay. What's Love got to do with it? Hey, big deal. A lot of adversity. Hey, shout out Jordan Love. He's dealt with a lot this year. The expectations for taking over a guy in Aaron Rodgers, who's a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, who took over for another Hall of Famer and Super Bowl champion and NFL MVP, and Brett Favre, to have that legacy and to have a pretty freaking good year thus far, I'm impressed. Jordan Love. And thus concludes our Packers talk here on the pregame show. What I did love, speaking of Jordan, was Nick Bosa's post-game comments. A lot of talking from Nick after the game, which is surprising because he's not a big talker. But he was focused on this game.
It was definitely an assignment-focused game. We had to make Jalen focus on the rush more than looking downfield, and we knew that was the key to the game. So our whole mentality was we're not trying to set the record on sacks. We're trying to close the pocket. We're trying to get his eyes on us. And obviously really good O-line. And he helps him out with how he evades. And you can't really pick a side when you're rushing those guys because you know Jalen's watching you. He's trying to get out of the pocket and win that way. So I think we did a really good job of just closing in on him.
It's a great point by Bosa there, too, because he felt that in the game, that it wasn't like, hey, they got close a couple times and they only ended up finishing with 3 sacks. 2 from Javon Kinlaw, by the way. He's really a freak, though. First sack since 2020 for Javon. And the first one was, kind of Jalen Hurts just slipping on himself. But you know what? Hey, if you're in a slump, he'll take it. And then Kalia Davis with 1. So just 3 overall, 4 tackles for losses for that ferocious front. But to Nick's point, sacks are nice, but if you're just getting pressure and making him feel that, by the way, Nick Bosa, I believe it's him and who? TJ Watt, 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken, leading the league in pressures. If you can just make Jalen feel that, making your presence felt, it goes a long way. And you keep him muddled in that pocket, force him to go downfield. When your secondary is taking care of business, there's going to be a lot of throwaways, lots of rolling outs and tossing it. And that's all you saw from Jalen Hurts yesterday. Rolling out, buying time, and just couldn't get it done. Now, that's something that's bit the 49ers in the ass in the past. Was what? What do we all think about when we think about a quarterback scrambling and then eventually finding his guy? Patrick Mahomes, right? Super Bowl. I mean, that's what I went to immediately. And Tyreek Hill. Guy does it day in and day out. And by the way, sneakily, Patrick Mahomes, not a very good downfield thrower this year. Why? Well, receiving core kind of stinks. John, hang on. We will get to you on the other side. 888-957-9570. More of your calls, more of your texts. 49ers 42, Eagles 19. It's an MVP Monday here on the pregame show. Who was your MVP of that game yesterday? Was it Deebo? Was it McCaffrey? Was it Purdy? Hell, was it Lenore laying the wood on DeAndre Swift? Was it Dre Greenlaw with the suplex city a la Kurt Angle? Who gets your game ball, if you will, or your MVP? 888-957-9570. It's the pregame show with Joe Spadoni. Come on back. One more segment, 95.7 The Game.
Boom, boom, boom.
Tim? Warriors. Oof. Don't want to get into that. Ugh. Really? You blew another one? Clippers 113, Warriors 112 on Saturday. We're not going to focus too much on that. Got a lot of time off. Warriors back at it. Wednesday, back home at Chase Center, taking on the lowly Portland Trail Blazers. But my God, another 20-point blown lead. Thankfully, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Niners smashing the Philadelphia Eagles 42-19. We want to hear from you, 888-957-9570. How we feeling? Most impressive part of yesterday's victory. Who gets your game ball? Who's your MVP? Right now, the odds-on MVP for the NFL, this via DraftKings, Brock Purdy, plus 300. Ooh, did it just shift a little bit too? Ooh, got a little movement here. Now that I'm seeing, it's Brock, now Jalen, both at plus 300. Dak now moved to plus 400. Little movement there, that via DraftKings. And we want to get to the calls here. And we want to hear from you all day. Because we're live and local Monday through Friday right here on 95.7 The Game. You're home for the best Bay Area sports coverage. 5 a.m. through 7 p.m. Start with Spadoni, you end with Grandy. All right? Two paisans. And let's go to John. Who the hell is John in Novato? He wants to get things.
He's an Italian.
He is an Italian. Let's go to John in Novato. Actually, I don't know John. Novato sounds Italian, but you're calling from a place. John, what's going on, man?
Good morning. This is a victory Monday if I've ever had one. Full team victory. That was so satisfying to watch. One thing I really wanted to hone in on was kind of what Bosa was talking about after the game, which was that disciplined defensive line play. And it was evident from the beginning. You know, he had a comment in the postgame where he said no one wants to get blocked for 10 seconds. And it was just such a disciplined effort by the whole group. Like every once in a while you would see a guy lose focus and go for the sack, and Hurts would slip out and kind of get something going. But for the most part, they stayed home, and at the end of the game, the offensive line of the Eagles was just wrecked. And so I think that's a huge, beautiful thing to see, because it seemed like for a lot of the year we were just kind of, getting our feet, and we're really just in motion now. We're in sync. And side note, not a Paisan, but my last name is Campione, so a lot of people think that. But yeah, shout out the game. Let's hear about these Niners all day. Thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate you, John. There you go. We'll still claim him. Campione's close enough. I think that's Spanish. Jimmy is out in San Pablo. He wants to weigh in as well. 888-957-9570. The number. Jimmy, you're on the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Spadoni? Hey, I'm just calling in. I wanted to give kudos to Kyle Shanahan because I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous that first quarter. I mean, we didn't run it up the middle once. I was tripping, and then after that first quarter was over, Shanahan was in his bag. Boy, you feel me? He just was in his bag. 6 straight touchdowns. He made me get drunk. Me and my cousin had this shot at touchdown thing going. Dude, 6 straight. Man, I just want to give kudos to Shanahan. I think he's getting more experienced as we play more and more big games. And I mean, at the beginning of the season, I didn't want to call Super Bowl, but right now I'm feeling like, hey, it's Super Bowl or bust. And how sweet would it be if we win the Super Bowl in Allegiant Stadium? How sweet would it be?
Yeah.
Hey, go Lakers.
Hey, there you go.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Jimmy. That's Jimmy out in San Pobs. Yeah.
The Lakers.
Yeah. I think Mark Davis's ultimate nightmare is honestly another Chiefs Niners in Vegas. Either way, he yikes. He'll get panned to the boot there with some 20-something-year-old that's 40 years younger than him, but we won't get into that. 888-957-9570. Just heard from Jimmy and John. Jimmy John's. Sandwiches, right? 49ers 42. Eagles 19. 14. And Shanahan, to their points, he was in his bag, but he didn't waver at all. He was getting crushed in that first quarter, by the way. Crushed. And after all of it, after the first quarter was over, it was 6-0. And then what did you do? 14, 14, 14. To the tune of 42 points for the 49ers. Just dominating that defensive line, that secondary, what have you. Reddick was out huffing and puffing. Listen, the fact that the Eagles, and I get it, they have injuries to the linebackers right now, but the fact that they were starting Nicholas Morrow should tell you all you need to know about where their linebacker depth is at. I watched Nicholas Morrow play for the Silver and Black the last handful of years. He's not it. Guy ain't it. He can move around a little bit, a little fast. He takes a lot more than that. Missed tackles, what have you. But they were getting picked on. The linebacking core, the secondary, everything was coming up 49ers yesterday on both ends of the field. Here's more from the head coach, Kyle Shanahan, on how his quarterback was not over-emotional heading into this game.
Yeah, I don't think the emotions were there like you would think. I mean, I think if we would have opened up in week 1 here, I think that would have been a real big deal. But just, I think going through this season, and he's played a lot of football. His arms felt great. So I think coming back here, the emotions are more about going against such a good team and playing in such a hard place to play. But I don't think there was, you can ask him when he gets in here, but I don't think it was real consumed with the injury that he got.
And here's the quarterback himself talking about, being proud of his guys and continuing to score.
No, I'm very proud of our guys, man, to get up like that with 2 scores, and then, Philly comes back, they get the momentum, Dre, gets ejected, they score. And then for us to continue to go on a run and multiple runs to continue to score and, have that lead continue to grow, that was huge for us, especially on the road in this kind of environment with that team, with Jalen Hurts and their great offense. It was huge for us to be able to get our momentum continue to roll. So that was huge for us. I think it was a big step for us as an offense.
You know what else was huge for Brock Purdy? Rocking that Adidas tracksuit jacket post-game so hard. Guy should be the MVP alone for that. You need to find that jacket. Whew. So clean. Purdy, was this a revenge game for you?
It was sort of in my mind. Yeah, man, I got hurt here. That was this year, late in January. But was it going to be the revenge game or anything like that? No. For me, it was week 13. We're going into it's a new year, a hostile environment. We needed this game. We need this game. Obviously, we have some really important games coming up too. So that's where I was at with that. I didn't want to get distracted by, I got to go back and show everybody what could have happened or what could have been. We've got a new team. This is 2023, and that's where my mind was at.
You got to feel pretty good, to Purdy's point, about the rest of the season going forward. He's like, hey, we're next page. We got the Seahawks coming into town next Sunday, 1 o'clock. They're desperate. They want to keep their playoff hopes alive, and we shall see. Geno Smith played pretty well against the Cowboys last Thursday, all things considered, but ultimately the Cowboys ended up winning that game. Then you look down, got the Cardinals. Okay, spirited effort. They beat the Kenny Pickett-less Steelers yesterday after Kenny Pickett had to leave. Trubisky took over. Night, see you later out in Pittsburgh there. Big win for the Cards. Not only for them, but obviously for the draft heading into next year. I think the Patriots have jumped over them now. The Patriots have the number 2 overall pick. So that's pretty interesting as far as Drake May, Caleb Williams, all that. But then the only biggest test, actually, I won't say only, because Christmas at Levi's, Ravens coming into town, that's massive. Huge implications for the 1 seed in both conferences, potentially, in the AFC and NFC, respectively. And then January 7th, keep your eye on that one. Rams, Niners at Levi's. That's going to be interesting. Rams with a big win over Cleveland yesterday at home. Rams sneakily got action. And I'm sure the Niners would love nothing more than to knock out Sean McVay. And trust me, it might as well be a knockout already, because what does Kyle Shanahan do to Sean McVay in the regular season? Smokes him. And also, I kind of don't want to face the Rams in the playoffs at all. I'd rather not. Division games, they can get weird. We've seen the one huge win for Sean McVay over Kyle Shanahan was in the NFC Championship game. But right now, after a win like this, the 49ers, they shouldn't and they don't fear anybody. They may respect them, but they don't fear anyone as the Niners smash the Eagles, clip their wings, what have you. 42-19. There's going to be a lot of cry Eagles cry today. Don't get it twisted as the morning roast is approaching. Start lining them up. 888-957-9570. Bonte Hill, Joe Shasky, they're fired up as I leave you with Paul Heyman trolling the city of Philadelphia. Have a good morning, everyone.
And we're going to feel like the fans of the Philadelphia Eagles after they get conquered by Brock Purdy of the 49ers.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Are you facing threats, stalking, or physical harm from another person in California? You have the right to feel safe. A civil harassment restraining order can provide the